Now, Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon.
We are speaking with the one and only Doug Pinnick of King's X. The new album, Joy Bomb, is available now. And it's got a great video on there, by the way, for the first single. Just fun as all heck. It's really well done. And Doug, as we say here, by the way, it's Key Changer is the song. It would help if I told people the song, wouldn't it? As we say here in Montreal, bonjour, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing great. Oui.
Bienvenue. So there is so much to talk about. I mean, obviously with the pandemic and stuff, you probably had some extra time to write, but you are a prolific songwriter. That is what you do. Talk to me about how you approach songwriting, because you've got so many that you go over and you do the project with Eric Gales. You've got the KXM. You've got King's X. You don't stop.
Nah, I love to write songs. I always have. And when I finally realized it, and I finally got like Pro Tools and, Superior Drummer and all that kind of stuff, I just went nuts, like a painter who was given a whole bunch of paint and he's told he can just do this for a living. And so that's what I do, There's never a downtime or uptime. It's just I write when I feel like it. Some days I feel like writing a song, and some days I'll be busy doing other things. A lot of times I don't remember when I write a song, or even like I'll write parts of songs and come back to it a month later after I've written 3 more songs and finished them, and then go back another place and go, oh, wow, I forgot about that song. Let me go back to it. So I'm kind of scattered. I have ADD and I'm dyslexic. So my hard drive I have songs in there that I don't even know what they are. Every now and then I just pull screens up and go, what was this one? And I pull it up and go, wow, I forgot. Did I write that? It gets that way sometimes, but it's fun. This is the biggest thing that I've learned about songwriting is anything that you do, if you really put your heart into it, you should get better at it, even if it's the same thing.
Right.
Even if it's the exact same thing, that exact same thing should sound unbelievably better 20 or 30 years from that day you started to do that. And so for me is I just want to write songs that are good. And the only way you can do that is practice.
So what has changed then in the last 20 or 30 years? Is it it's a deeper depth to the actual lyrics? Is it how you construct them? Have you gotten better over the last 20 to 30 years?
Only thing what I feel like I've gotten better at is I can write a song that has some nice key changes that surprise people quicker than I used to be able to, or I can create songs more mathematically in my head instead of just feeling what I feel. So sometimes I just feel something, I want to put it down, but then I listen back and I go, well, it's a great feeling that I had, but the song doesn't make anybody else feel anything. And so then I have to start mathematically putting things in the right places to move the emotions, because music is mathematical. It's a two-way street for me.
Right.
It's like I'm very emotional when I make music, but we all learn how to be emotional, as children, mimicking and listening to our parents and people that have been around us. So I'm just kind of emulating all the things that came to me. And I've got a lot of it because I'm a little sponge. I listen to a lot of music and a lot of different genres. And when I went to college for music, I only stayed there for 1 semester, but the teacher, first thing he said was, if you don't learn anything in this class, this is what you need to learn. Only one thing is all rules in music are made to be broken.
Right.
And that was the thing that there was a light switch. And that's when I decided, no matter what, I'm going to have to put a twist on everything that I write, because I can. It's made to be broken. Why not break it? Right. I felt like that's where the adventure is. So even when I write a real simple song like soul, a little bit of soul, or something like that. You know, even that song, I was thinking of Curtis Mayfield. You know, and just the simple way he used to sing music. Everything I do is from something that inspired me or moved me emotionally.
Oh, that's great. Just real quick, folks can pick up your handwritten lyrics at dugnation.net, which is
Yeah.
damn straight. I know this stuff. Then just real quick, are those? How can I put this? Are those like photocopies of the written stuff, or do you actually handwrite them for the fan and they get
I
your?
literally, I literally handwrite them for every
Oh, that
fan.
is
They get. I just got another order today from a guy. I think he's from Canada actually,
nice.
and he wanted a little bit of soul. So I'm gonna write that out after I get in talking to you, because I have to go to the post office with a couple other lyrics that
Things.
I have written.
And I wish I could share my screen for the fans to see, but I mean, they're in a frame and there's a picture and it's signed. It's really a cool fans thing to get, quite frankly. So
I love calligraphy, and my mother could write like a Hallmark card. And I always tried to write like her, like a Hallmark card, but I couldn't do it because that's not my nature.
yeah,
You know, I'm you know, like I said, I'm the reckless ADD person. So when I write, it's really fancy, but sometimes it might not be correct. You know what I'm saying? It's like I might write two, three different ways on the same page, just slightly, because I'm an emotional writer. So you can tell what mood I'm in. Sometimes I'm in a happy mood and it's up and down, and when I'm in a sad mood, it's slanted a little bit. And so I have to I'm left-handed too, so I have to turn the page paper almost upside down
that's
sometimes
right.
to
And you
write.
have that slanted writing.
Yeah, but it's on black paper with white ink. I love
Yes,
that.
it really looks. What's the word? Glorious. I mean, it looks great. You know,
So
um, I've known you from the King's X and the KXM and mostly hard rock and metal, and of course you've got the stuff with Eric Gales, which is great too. Do you see yourself doing other styles of music, even as you know? Here's the dance record, or here's the disco record, or here's the what? Do you want to get into other stuff, or do you like just like the hard rock and the heavy stuff and the big bass and?
well, I think of that all the time, and the thing that stops me from making a record that's a disco record or a soul record or a gospel record or something is because I've never liked other bands that did that.
Really? Okay.
I always wanted to hear exactly what they're doing. What's in your head and your heart right now? I don't go back and don't get me wrong. I mean, everybody has a different thing to
Right.
do, and if people feel like they need to do that, it's okay too. Because I did a Hendrix album,
Mm-hmm.
and it was all Hendrix stuff. So I can't say that I have to backtrack, and that was maybe I misunderstood myself.
Right.
The bottom line is, I don't want to, because I find more joy in pulling all those things together and try to make a soup that's palatable for everyone to
Right.
listen to, or the people that love what I do because of that.
Right.
I kind of know what I do now, so and I kind of know what people expect, and so I deliberately do things. I mean, just to because I can, because I write so
Right.
many songs. It's like I'll write a real simple song, like Key Changer. I mean, the
Yeah.
song's not deep about anything, and someone complained that it wasn't a deep song, but the point is, it's not a deep song. I want to write a cool song that's not deep,
Listen,
and
people
I'm
complain
trying.
all day long. Just
Yeah, I'm
ignore
just
the
trying to.
noise.
Oh yeah, I do. I'm just
That's a
trying
good
to
song
make
title,
up.
by the way.
I like that. Yeah, but that's the thing, I'm just going to put music out there, and whether people like it or not, they're just going to have to deal with it. And because at 71 years old, I don't care anymore. Back in the day, it was very important to write those hit songs and be a rock star and get the money and
Yeah.
the record companies and the pushing and all that stuff. But now, I could care less about that stuff. I just love making music, and whether people buy it or not, I'll always just keep doing it.
Because I'm just thinking, you take that DP12 and you put out a funk record with that 12 bass or 12 string going. It would sound pretty. Oh, that'd be pretty happening.
Well, only thing I would do if I did a funk album with a 12 string bass, it would still have a heavy guitar in it. That's the whole thing about me, is like, I just like heavy guitar, and no matter what, I mean, even if it's a symphony, I'll have a guitar riff in there somewhere. It's like, I just like that aggression. So it's sort of like, it's like you get to a point where people like a certain thing and they know where to go to get it. And they know, people know what I do, and they listen to what the music that I make, and they know where to get that if that's what they want. I'm not going to kind of go into territories that I'm not comfortable with or that I want to just for the sake of doing it.
But you're breaking the rules. That's what it's supposed to be.
Well, I want to break rules in a way that takes them all and blends them together. I want to make another, that's, to me, what starts a whole genre of music is somebody having the nerve to go back to ground zero and put their own slant on something.
Right.
The Beatles, Hendrix, Duke Ellington. You can go all the way through the whole list. Ray Charles up to the people, Meshuggah. But it's you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, Meshuggah. Hey, so before we continue with the Joy Bomb and the new album and some of the other stuff that's going on now, I always prepare incredibly for interviews, and I was watching this song.
I love it.
I was watching Collateral Damage, and it's from like 2013 or 2000. And I had prepped for it then because I interviewed you back then about it, but I forgot how effing good that song was. My Lord. In fact, I watched it 3 times back to back to back because I was like, no, that's too good. I got to watch this again. That's, of course, from the Pinnick Gales, and I can't say the guy's name. Pridgen?
Yeah. We just say PGP.
I like that. That's better. The last one was in 2014, and as I went back and I looked at all the videos that was for this album and stuff, do you see yourself doing another one? Because Eric Gales is he is so good. He is so good. And that trio is just perfect. I mean, it really is.
You never know. Every now and then we'll say, hey man, we should do something again, but
yes, you should.
no one's ever taken their helm yet. It's because all 3 of us are pretty busy too, and
right,
got all kinds of other things going. So I don't know, hopefully maybe it'll happen again, but I'm not sure.
Because that would be great.
We had some great moments though, and I love those guys. Actually, it was the first all-black rock band I was ever in.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, all right, listen, let's do some more, because that's pretty kick-ass.
There was a difference in the way we played, because there's a little nuance that Black people have comes from the church, and I've never played with anybody with that, and I have that nuance. And when we put it together, and I was kind of surprised because I had forgot. Oh yeah. That everybody can do this, because I've been, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. But fair to say that it's a kick-ass little band that you put there. I mean, that's
thanks.
Pretty magical.
Thanks.
Let me take it just let's turn just to remembering for a second. Marsha Zazula, of course, is credited with signing you, or certainly had an important role in your career.
Yes.
She passed away earlier this year. Just quickly talk to me about her. Let's remember her for what she was, just a brilliant lady. But she sort of kicked you in the butt and gave you your first start, right?
Yes, she did. She got our tape. The tape had Sam Taylor's name on it, who was our manager at the time.
Right.
And she thought that this was a Sam Taylor that she knew, but it wasn't.
Right.
But she played the tape anyway, because she's getting hundreds of tapes every day, and nobody, they just, back in the day, you did get about 100 cassettes every day, and people, you just didn't get your music heard back in the day. Right. And so luckily she thought it was Sam, and she opened it up and listened to the song, and she really loved the demo, And she went to Johnny and told him about it. And
He
she
was
said,
like,
Johnny,
nope.
no, he wasn't into it because he had just had Metallica and Anthrax and Overkill. But she really talked him into it. And to this day, we thank her. We love her to death. Miss her.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, just a brilliant lady here. And let me take you to something a little more celebratory in this sense. In 2006, you went out with Living Color for a little bit. Um, how was that as an? Oops, you lost something.
Yeah, I was looking for my water, but I don't know where I had it. So
Now you see,
never
you got to
mind.
do like me. I got three of them next to me just in case.
Yeah, I left mine in the kitchen. I'm okay.
Well, we'll make it quick. Just quickly talk to me about that experience about stepping into a veteran band like Living Color with Cult of Personality and all their songs and Vernon Reid, and they got their own thing going. Uh, what was that like to sort of be the replacement guy for the summer and
It was just 10 shows, and it was in
right?
Europe and at festivals. They were all, well, 2 shows we did clubs just to warm up.
Yep.
And then the rest of them were festivals in front of about 40, 50,000 people
No
in Europe.
pressure.
And,
No pressure.
and it was just me and my microphone. It was a lot of fun because I've never been able to go all the way down to the crowd and stand on the fence and scream at them while I'm singing. It was sort of like I got to do all those things I watched all those singers do that I've watched for all my life. You know, it was fun to be able to get down in the pit in the crowd and sing at them stuff. And walk every inch of the stage, you know, which was cool. I never felt I sang well because Corey's voice is a few notches higher than mine, and he sings in his natural range is my high range. So it was there were times when I'm going, I gotta ad lib, guys, I'm sorry. And the cool thing about it was that Vernon said that when I sang, he said that he saw the songs in a different way.
Yeah, I'm
When I
reading right now.
sang
It
them,
says Vernon Reid said that Doug's take on Love Rears is fresh, etc., etc., etc. So,
wow,
hey,
not to take away from Corey. Corey's, amazing. So we had fun, and I went home, and that was it. I even have a copy of one of these shows.
is a
Um,
soundboard, a beautiful soundboard
yeah,
that you
yes.
can leak to YouTube later tonight, just so I can go listen.
I should start leaking. I've had that thing for 20 years or so. I should leak it. Vernon said I could, so I think about that again.
Yeah, because the quality of video that I tried to check out was well dubious at best.
Okay.
Um,
This was actually the screen, the cameras that do the screenshots, so you can see people on the big screens in the festivals.
wow.
It was a video of just that.
Of just the people on the screen.
Yeah, just the tapes of the people. I mean, I'm sorry. When you're playing and you see the people playing on the big screens on the
Yeah.
side. That's what I'm saying. I've got the tape of that.
Right, the sort of board mix tape kind of thing.
Right, with
Nice.
the video and everything, with the big shots and stuff. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, there's your project for 2022. Get that put
You
out.
know,
Call Vernon and say, dude, come on. We can make a few
Yeah.
shekels on this. Let's.
I didn't think of that. I always
you
forget
could.
about money. So I never think about money. God, I should.
Well, yeah. Hey. When you're writing for Joy Bomb, and we'll go back to the writing thing for a second, because you do the KXM with Ray Luzier, you do King's X. Is it just the same songs that you write and that you bring to the new project and say, okay, well, this time it's going to, or do you write differently? Does the solo album have a different approach? Are these songs that you just go, King's X can't use this, KXM can't use, like, how do you decide?
No. I won't write. I won't take any of my songs to any band except for King's X.
Right.
All the other bands that I'm in, I just come with a bass and a voice.
Really? So
And
KXM, you don't write anything?
No. We come in and we just start jamming. We make up parts. And the prerequisite with KXM is nobody tells the other person what to do. Whatever you're playing, we're going to make it work. And that's our thing. And so Ray will start doing a drum beat, checking his drums. I'll go, do that again a couple times. And I'll lock into his kick drum and we'll go, George, can you put something on this? And George will go, and he'll listen to it for a second and come up with something real bizarre. And he'll look at us like, huh? And we go, that's badass. And we just rock it for about 5 minutes until we lock it in. Then move to that's how we write. We just make it up. Somebody comes along with something.
All right, hold on. That's interesting. So how do you record then? Is it sort of off the floor kind of thing, or do you sort of work out these songs and say, okay, now we've got something, let's rework it until we get it perfect?
Yeah, well, here's what we
Okay.
do. We'll say, okay, we're gonna write a song, we'll name it. We don't know what it's about, but we'll put a name on it. And we'll make up 3 or 4 parts. And then Ray will say, well, somebody will go, maybe we should make a 4th one, or maybe a 5th sometimes, you know. And we'll come up with these parts, and we'll be real happy with the parts. And our engineer Chris, he will we'll play the parts, and he'll take a 4-measure thing of it, and Ray will come in and cut and paste it till the song makes sense.
Wow.
Then I'll be hanging out smoking weed and stuff, and George will be plunking on his guitar. And then Ray will come out and go, okay, guys, I got us a song. And he said, come listen to it. And we'll listen to all the parts and sing. And he'll say, Doug, can you sing on this? Can you put something to it? I go, yeah. And he says, cool. And he says, numbers 4, 5, 6, whatever song, let's go to a new one. And It takes us about a week. It's so much fun. It's so easy. There's no fighting. There's no arguing.
You can't fight with Ray Luzier. The guy's so incredibly nice. He's a sweetheart.
Well, I know. The thing is, they are so good at what they do. What have I got to tell them? The only problem with King's X and me bringing music in is just because I've always written music, and when King's X started, I was writing songs. You know, most of them at that time. Well, all of them in the early beginning, and then later the other guys started writing. So it sort of just turned into what we do,
right?
You know.
Well, you tell Ty I'm the leader here, and you'll record my songs. That's the way it works.
I'm not the leader, and I guarantee you, no one in our camp will say that.
Well, you have Ty call me. I'll take care of it.
Okay.
I'm a big Cheap Trick fan, and of course Tom Petersen, the 12-string bass. Let's quickly talk about the dUg Pinnick DP12, which I'm staring at here on SchecterGuitars.com. It's a fucking beauty. Sorry for the language, but this is gorgeous. I would make love to this guitar.
Awesome. I'll watch.
Yeah, well, we'll put that on. That'll be another TikTok to put up on there. But talk to me about this, because the 12 bass or the 12 string, the regular schmo can't play this. You have to be, you know. Talk to me about this instrument. How much input do you have in it?
It's not a hard thing to play. We were on tour with Cheap Trick on our first album. Smart. And Cheap Trick is one of my favorite bands in the world. Growing up in the Chicago area, we always knew about them before I moved away. And actually they played in clubs before they got signed. So there's a legendary thing happening. And Tom Petersen used to play through 2 high watt amps, 2 twin reverbs, and 2 I forgot what the power amps were, with 2 subs underneath. So he had 2 twin reverbs, and then 2 412 cabinets with a high watt, I think it was, and then the bottom in a little club wide open. And it was just overwhelming. And that's where I just went, this is what I want to do. Just bass louder than you can stand. Yeah. And so we went on tour. I got to finally meet him and stuff. And they were getting ready to walk on stage now, standing on the side of the stage, talking to him. And the lights went down, and the music did go on. And Tom said, dude, you should check this out. And he put his bass on me and said, tell me what you think of this. And being left-handed, I had to put it on upside down. And I went, dude, this is like playing a wonderful Martin 12-string guitar. You know, it just sounded so great. He said, you should get a hold of Schecter and make a couple. And I went, okay. And that's kind of what happened. And it's all Tom Petersen. I have nothing to do with it. The 12-string bass is the 4-string configuration. You got the 4 big strings, and then you got 2 strings that are in unison but octave higher. And when you play, it just gives you this really crystally cool sound.
Yeah, it's like, we lost your video. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Yeah, are you there?
I'm still here.
It said my battery is low, and so
Oh, wow.
give me 1 second.
We'll
Okay,
plug
hang
in
on.
for a second, yeah, because I got a couple more questions. The joy of iPhone
Yeah,
interviews, right?
yeah, this is crazy now. I got
But I but
let's
I,
see.
I've
Oh, go
I've
ahead.
always been a huge admirer of what Tom does because when you say to me, "Oh, there's going to be a bass solo in the show," I go, "Great, I'll go get a hot dog." But then when you say Tom Petersen's going to play, you go, "Ooh," because it's like an orchestra when he plays. It's just spectacular. So this is a beauty. Love it.
Thank
Let's
you.
see. Let's see here. Schecter guitars. Let's see the specs. Let's see. Oh, there's no price on it. But hey, if you go to schecterguitars.com, it's the Doug Pinnick DP12 and free shipping, by the way,
Awesome.
which is very important. So I'm going to ask you two questions
Hmm.
that are sort of outside the realm of music, but the first is the story of you meeting aliens. Is that a sincere story, or is that one of these, you know, rumors that have been floating around? The story that I've always been told is, as a kid, a ghost or an apparition showed up in your room, and you had a real moment. And is
Yeah,
that really?
yeah, it did happen.
Oh, fascinating.
There's two things, three things that I remember when I was a child, really young, and two of them I remember. One I remember when I was 1.5. The other I remember when I was 3, and the other when I was 4. And the one that I was 3, the reason I knew that was because I was crying in my mother's lap,
Right.
and it was dark outside. She left. She was thrown out, and she never came back for years after that. And she left when I was 3. So I know that that's when that happened. So I'm in my bed sleeping, and this tall being person comes up to me. He's white. He's got long white hair, and he's really tall. Well, I'm a little kid, so
Hmm.
everybody's tall. He grabbed my hand, and I remember my hand was, he had to hold my hand up way above my head
Right.
so I could walk. I remember that clearly. And I was okay with it for a second. Then all of a sudden, I remember it was really, really bright outside. So bright, it was like I couldn't barely see. It was like we are standing in the middle of noon. And I looked back and I saw our house in a distance. And I got scared. I thought, my mommy's gone. I got to get back to my mommy. And I was freaking out really, really bad. So the next thing I remember, I was tugging and pulling at his hand. And then right after that, I was in her lap crying. Now, I thought, well, maybe it was Jesus because my family were Christian at the time.
Right.
And I always remembered it. And I never really told anybody about it until way later in my life. But it always haunted me. It scared me because I thought it was Jesus. And I got scared of Jesus. And I thought, why would I get scared of Jesus?
Right.
So that always was in the back of my mind the whole time I was a Christian. But okay, let's fast forward. How many years? I was in my 50s at this time, I think. I was watching not ancient aliens. I was watching something on aliens and how the 4 drawings that all people who have been abducted, they tell you what this alien looked like, and there's only 4 of them, which was
Right.
really weird. And they pulled them up, and there was the Greys, and then there was the Serpent People, and then there was this blonde, blue-eyed, tall, white-looking, Anglo-Saxon looking person with a white robe with boots on, with shoes on that that kind of went up his leg like with straps, and he had long white hair, and he had a gold belt on, and it was a white like robe kind of thing, and that's exactly what came to get me. So at
Wow.
that point, I go, okay, then I must have been abducted, because maybe that's why I have so many night terror dreams. All my
Wow.
life after that, oh man, anywhere I would stay with anybody, even at a hotel, it'd be so embarrassing. but I'll just start screaming like somebody's killing me. And
Jeez.
it freaks people out. I don't have it much anymore like I used to, or at least nobody's telling me. Oh, no.
That's got to be great on the tour bus.
No, oh yeah. I mean, every now and then my roommates will say, well, we heard you in there yelling or something. I go, yeah, did you wake me up? No, freaked us out. I'm going, wake me up. That's all you got to do.
Snap me out of it. That's great.
So, some people think that it was in my mind, whatever,
No.
It's something that happened to me.
Yeah, no, listen, Sammy Hagar tells the same story. If it happened to Sammy, you know it happened.
Awesome.
Now, look at this. Zoom just told me that I have 10 minutes left. So let me ask you this. I know. A mutual friend of ours said that I have to ask you about the film, The Social Dilemma, and about how the internet and all that is going on. How intriguing do you find that film, The Social Dilemma, and this whole concept of social media doesn't really bring us together. It tears us apart.
No, it changed my whole life when I saw that. I don't see the internet the same way anymore. In fact, the only reason I'm on the internet is because I have to be on the internet. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be on it at all. I think I thought it was going to be, when we first got the internet, I always thought that it was going to be, everybody's going to get all this information and we're all going to get on the same page finally. Right. Which that was naive, because what it did was when money's involved and corporations are involved and the only way to make money is off of our dissension, then where else can you start it? So watching that movie just confirmed all the questions and all the problems I had with what I see is going on. I don't know how we're going to fix it or how we're going to change it. I'm horrified for kids. I watch young kids and, young friends. I mean, my friends, their kids, and how they're the way they look at life and TikTok and all this stuff. Yeah. And it's just, it was, I mean, we were listening to Black Sabbath when we were kids and we were doing, things that our parents were worried about. So I go, well, am I just worried about these kids are going to be okay? It still just kind of concerns me because it's more readily available and more in your face,
It's in your back pocket. And talk
right.
about the new, the new normal that is going to happen in 20 to 30 years from now is very different and sort of like, it's kind of scary.
Have you noticed that people under 30 or maybe, I'm not going to say a number exactly, but I watch younger people walk like they don't look down or look up or left or right, and they're not even on their phones. Yeah. It's like we've learned to just look at this one thing and just sense, and it's not even listening to anything else. A friend of mine one time, I said something and he was he was doing this thing all afternoon, and I was talking. I said, "You hearing me?" He goes, "What?" I said, "I've been talking to you and you're sitting there and you like right here." And he goes, "Oh man," he said to me, okay, go ahead.
Sorry, the air conditioner turned on. I guess it's getting hot in this room. That's bizarre.
He said to me in my circle of friends, if somebody wants to tell me something, they go, "Hey, everybody, heads up." And then everybody looks up and he'll tell them. But he said, if you don't do that, nobody's going to pay attention. It's like you can sit there and talk and do stuff and they just act like you're not there. It's scary. If this is the way the world's going to be, I'm kind of horrified. What about raising your children?
Somewhere in the 70s and 80s, they started talking about cocooning, and that's going to be the future of the office. We're all going to be in our little cocoons. And we all went, yeah, sure. And it never happened. And then the pandemic happened and went, right. We're in my little cocoon. This is
everything's going along as planned.
Yeah, as a plan.
That's all I can say. It's like, again, I always say, follow the money. There's no conspiracy. There's no government bullshit going on. It's all about cash. Money. Cash. It's cold, and they all have their fingers in it. All of them. Every one of those politicians. That's why we can't get nothing done, because they got investments and all that stuff. I mean, think about this. All those zillionaires who are not paying any taxes, but I got to pay my taxes and I can barely pay my bills. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and no one seems to be really making any noise about it. They're too busy fighting over abortion rights and the word fuck and you know, you hurt my feelings because you said, you know, some derogatory. I mean, they got us fighting over absolute bullshit while they're just raping us completely, and everybody's just dumbass not paying attention. And it really are. It's so sad.
Well, in Quebec here, the latest controversy is that they want to have a Quebec citizenry course in school, and they're fighting about, well, there's no such thing as a Quebec citizen; they're Canadian citizens. So and it's just like, really? Don't we have better things to do?
Exactly. What? Jeez.
I know.
Let's get everybody jobs, and then get our kids in school so they can learn.
Yeah, maybe some healthcare. Healthcare wouldn't hurt.
Right.
Hey, the Zoom here is telling me I've got 3 minutes. So between the Zoom and my air conditioner and your iPhone,
I could fix it. Can we do more? I'll talk longer.
Oh, well, why don't we plan a second one? Because we'll tell the folks that Joy Bomb is available now. It is absolutely. Well, we did get it in there. It is absolutely terrific. Every time we've had an interview, it's always been a pleasure. So let's do more. And man, it's just and I guess let's go watch The Social Dilemma again, because I watched it too, and it said, you know, when you're on there and the picture shows up, it registers that you looked at that picture, and I was like, oh, well, I'm going to stop looking at those pictures. Jesus. Doug, toujours un plaisir, as we say, always a pleasure. And let's do more, and I will fix this Zooms thing so it doesn't do what it did to us today, but thank you, sir.
Merci bien. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. Did I say that right? No.
Yeah, merci beaucoup. You got it.
Merci beaucoup. Yes.
Yes, and let's get King's X or you or KX, whatever. Let's get it up here to Quebec and to Montreal, and let's rock out.
Sounds like a deal.
Cheers, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Perfect. All right, let me just stop recording.
Okay.